The New York Jets end up firing head coach Robert Saleh today after a 20-36 career with the New York Jets. Very underwhelming. They wind up losing by 1 point to Denver, then wind up going into London, facing Sam Darnold, a familiar foe, losing in London. The same way Robert Saleh started his Jets career, losing to Sam Darnold in Carolina, he loses to Sam Darnold in London. So really not a fun thing to see. It's going to be a lot of things going on. So I want to go around. I want to give our thoughts. I'll start this off. I think it kind of just had to happen. I was a little surprised that it happened today. I was definitely taken off guard. I thought it probably would have happened yesterday. The fact that it happened on a Tuesday, I guess, just has to do more with the timing of the Monday Night Football game and, people coming into the building and whatnot. But this felt very much like something that was coming down the pipeline. Last week, we had discussed possibly 2 of the next 3 games is what they'd have to win, and, it wound up just being the one. I do think that there was a lot to do with, because I think this was done because of the players, because of the fans, and because Woody Johnson was embarrassed with his boys over in London. I think that played a factor in it as well. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, after the Broncos game, they had that little bit of a spat with maybe the cadence is the issue, and Rodgers comes out and says, or we could hold people accountable. And that felt very much like a sharp stab to Robert Saleh. And then last week, or this past game, we got to see Quincy Williams come out and unprompted, on like a positive question that was lobbed to him, was just like, I'm sick of saying the same thing week in, week out. We got to hold people accountable. And, I took that more as like the offensive side of this. So when I see Robert Saleh getting fired, something happened with the Mets over there.
Sorry, Mets won.
Ooh, I like it. My thought process with the firing of Robert Saleh, it feels kind of like a tumor that you have inside and the doctor goes in to operate, but you didn't get the whole thing, so you still technically have the cancer. That, to me, is what this Jets team is right now. As much as I'm really excited for 𝐒𝐵RIC, and I think he's the right selection to lead this team, I think the players are going to respect him and everything. I think a lot of players and fans are sitting here saying, well, firing Saleh, how does that help the offense? Because Nathaniel Hackett's still here. His play calling duties going to get revoked from him. We heard before, or I guess shortly after Saleh was fired, that he had considered or was planning to strip Nathaniel Hackett of his play calling responsibilities. They weren't planning on firing him necessarily, but maybe Todd Downing starts taking over the play calling responsibilities. You got to see 𝐒𝐵RIC during his introductory presser, very non-committal on the staff in terms of their roles. He didn't think anyone was leaving necessarily, but it did certainly seem like Hackett was not going to be calling the offense anymore. So overall, I think it probably had to be done. If I was Buffalo right now, I'd be calling up Robert Saleh and I would be saying, hey, you want to be an assistant for this week's game? Because you're going to know a whole heck of a lot about a very important opponent that we're facing this week. So Matt, I'll throw it to you first. What are your thoughts on the firing of Coach Robert Saleh?
I was very surprised with the timing of it. I'm not saying that I'm against the move in any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I was mere seconds away from posting a rant video. It was uploaded. It was like 2 minutes left to go processing, and I was ranting about Davante Adams and how there's fans who are like, don't trade for Davante because it doesn't fix everything. And I'm like, well, that seems like the only realistic card they could play, because Woody Johnson's never fired a head coach in season. Like, I just don't think they're going to do it. And I don't think Nathaniel Hackett's going to get fired. And then boom, the bomb drops. And I had to go and check like 3 times because I have push notifications on for Schefter. And I was like, this has got to be like, this is fake. Like, this can't be. And I read it 3 times. I made sure like there was the right account. And I genuinely was surprised that they made the move. The timing, like I said, seems a little bit strange, but I'd rather do it now than have to wait. Like, if the Jets went out and lost to Buffalo and then lost to Pittsburgh and then they're 2-5 and then they pull the plug, it's like, all right, Jeff, good luck. You got to go 8-2 the rest of the way. And maybe this team makes the playoffs at that point. Like, that doesn't really seem fair. I understand people are frustrated that Nate Hackett's still here. I'm frustrated by it as well. I think he should have got the boot with Robert Saleh, but I think both Woody Johnson and new head coach Jeff 𝐒𝐵RIC left the door open for the possibility of a different play caller, and that different play caller obviously meaning Todd Downing. I don't think they're going to go hire anybody, but I think it's been on the table that they could potentially change play callers. And I'm not saying Todd Downing's great, but at least he's different, and it's not Nathaniel Hackett. So overall, I think he really lost me after the Denver game. That's when I lost all hope for Saleh. And then after this one where they came out flat, another game where he's just staring off the 1,000-mile stare. He just looked so dejected on the sideline. He looked like he didn't want to be here anymore. And I think that was starting to rub off on the players too.
Greenbean, your thoughts on the firing of Robert Saleh?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I didn't expect it today. I thought Monday night was the decider, but I definitely felt the writing on the wall. I heard Quincy Williams' comments when he said, "I'm tired of hearing the same thing every week." That to me is Robert Saleh. Now, I made a video about it, as I'm sure everybody did, but I was really like I was trying to listen to what he said. He also said, "I'm tired of saying the same thing every week," you know. So my thought was it's definitely focused on the offense. So I don't think Quincy was trying to get Saleh fired or anything like that. But I think he was saying like Robert Saleh does not hold anybody accountable. It's just more motivational stories and all more rhetoric and all that kind of stuff. And then in the game, and we've been saying this for years, as much as you know, you could support Saleh, or like last year, I didn't think he should be fired when Aaron Rodgers went down and the whole thing. Like, I'm like, look, you got to give it this year. Like, you have to let it go. You can't just fire him at the end of last year. And I maintain that that was the right decision. You have to see. But I think that what Quincy Williams was really saying is, when is Robert Saleh going to hold somebody accountable? Like you said, Ryan, Aaron Rodgers said it the week before. When Robert Saleh, when his answer to the question about we are the league's most penalized team. Now, we can dissect that and say, but it's they have a bias, and we can do all that if we want. But the fact remains, we're the most penalized team. When you get asked a question about why is it that you're so penalized, you know, why, you know, that game, it was the real spearhead of that was we're on our own goal line and we had 3 consecutive penalties, 2 offsides and a holding by the offensive line. And his answer is we're going to work on the cadence. That, I don't know, man. That, I mean, if you felt like I did, and I'd probably nowhere near where the team feels like, wait a minute, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers' 19-year proven cadence as a weapon, like drawing people off sides. He did it in the what was it, the Titans game, or maybe it was the Niners game. I forget, when he threw the touchdown to Lazard down the you know the middle of the field there. Niners, right? Yeah. So, but it's like that's the answer, not like I'm going to start benching dudes. You know, like I'm sick of this shit. Like there's none of that stuff. And then when he starts talking about when you say hold people accountable, and he goes, what am I going to do? Make him do push-ups? Like, I don't think making a guy do push-ups. Like, who the fuck's talking about push-ups? Like, is that where? That's not what we're really talking about, man. Nobody ever make grown men do push-ups. But there's plenty of coaches that hold their players accountable. And he just doesn't see it. So when that was all happening, I saw the writing on the wall, didn't expect it today, but I like it. If you're going to do it, do it. You know, I hate this kind of slow, methodical, wait too long approach that this regime has had with many decisions. It's one of the rubs that I have. You guys know I support Joe Douglas. I like a lot of the players. I think the team is just bursting at the seams with talent, and I'm excited about what they can do. But it's like, you know, come on, man. This whole idea that we'll just wait around until week 16, week 13, week 12, when the season's lost, or you have a slim chance if you win every game, the last 4 games, you might be able to get a wild card. Do it right now. The writing's on the wall. He's been clearly outcoached. And it's just time. The players are upset. We're having a mutiny brewing. I would have chosen Middleton. I said it last week. That would have been my choice. But I'm excited about Ulbricht. I'm worried a little bit but I'm excited about the caveman coming in, banging his chest, and knocking people over the head with his wooden club, so to speak. Like, they're animals. They're mean, intense men with and with a lot of testosterone. Maybe that'll get everybody up, and we'll start kicking some people's ass, because that's what we're built to do.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.